right, guys, Brad Chappell here. Today I've got a big announcement, I guess you would say, Todd.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Todd's joining the Crappie Connection. You know, kind of looked around and seen somebody that I can get along with and really gained a lot of information myself with. And Todd's been a supporter from the Crappie Connection from the very beginning and has helped us out and from the beginning to now. And I'm looking forward to some really cool things with you, buddy.
Oh yeah, I'm super stoked. I've been wanting to tell everybody here the last couple of weeks that I was going to come on board with y'all, but just y'all watch what's getting ready to happen. I'm not going to take anything away from this setting, but we will be, calling up these guys now and actually going out and doing some filming on the water stuff so that, we can sit in here just like what I've done with you a million times and talk about a product or whatever. But coming up, we will actually sit here and talk about it, and then there'll be a segment where we'll cut in and we'll actually show what you're talking about on the water. So if you're talking about a new rod, a dock shooter or a long rod or whatever, now we're going to give you a way to be able to show it off in the middle of a podcast, which to me is really cool. It's going to require a lot more work, but I think in the end it will be a win-win for everybody.
Absolutely. This sport's grown so much through the years, and it's still got a ways to go. And, just by today, something new's happening with the Crappie Connection. We've got an audience here today with us, and even at the end, they're going to come in and they're going to ask us questions, this panel here. And like I told them earlier, is if there's something that we don't know and we don't know how to answer it, we will find the answer to it. A lot of good things coming, guys. Subscribe to YouTube is a big thing for us. But today I'm going to go ahead and start out and introduce, I'm sure everybody in the crappie world already knows this fella here, this wild hurricane, I guess it is, Eric Howard.
Some days.
He's a sponsor for Crappie Connection, and we appreciate you guys as well coming on board with Crappie Connection this year and getting with it. And
well, we appreciate you having us on board. I mean, until everybody gets on board, crappie fishing can be, just as big as the bass industry. We got to put the time and effort into it, and continue to do podcasts like this to grow it even more so, and get the youngins out there and all age groups to go out there and go crappie fishing.
It's such a great sport that I absolutely just love it. I love everything about it. And I want everybody to enjoy it and learn more about it. It's not about fame and fortune for me. It's about growing this sport and teaching people about it.
So speaking of the growing, earlier whenever I saw you in the hall, and I believe she's sitting right there, you were telling me about this club you started up. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we, I've always been, none of us would be sitting here unless somebody, our parents or grandparents, grandma, pa, took us fishing when we were little. Majority of us, especially that are on tour right now, we wouldn't have had that opportunity unless we were introduced to it at a younger age. So what me and Leanne have done, and Leanne's a big part of this, big time, is we've started a tropical storm club for the kids from the age of 3 to 13 years old. Girls and boys. Every quarter they get free terminal tackle, a tackle box. Like Charlie Button's got his book, that we got. They donated, for 300 tips of crappie fishing, for like the 10 to 13-year-old age. But the first round, they get a kid's combo with a dry fit shirt and a hat. And then every quarter, they get terminal tackle. Then, eventually we'll have a cartoon book come out probably next year with us, with me on it. That'll be interesting.
It sounds funny already.
It is pretty, it's pretty interesting. I already got the cartoon character done, what Leanne does, through a graphic designer. But anyways, that will come out next year, and it'll really have like a tips and tricks of fishing in general, not just crappie fishing.
Yeah.
But then we'll throw in some life lessons, some simple life lesson things, so no one's offended by it. But it's just a simple thing. If we can get one or two kids that really come out, we don't know where the next national champion is going to be. We just don't. I mean, it could be her.
Absolutely.
I mean, she could be sitting there training national champion. Really. She's part of the Tropical Storm Club, and we've got 100 kids now. We started out with 50. The first 48 hours, it got blown out of the water. So I looked at Lena and said, we got to do something more. So we reached out to our sponsors, which we're blessed. We got a bunch of them. And then we got some donors that aren't even our sponsors. They're into the kids fishing. And bringing them up away from electronics, getting them out in out in the outdoors is what our goal is. So, and keep them out of trouble. You know how we've all raised kids. If you keep them as busy as possible, more than likely they're not going to get in trouble. And live that straight life like we're all supposed to live. So that's our goal with the kids club. That's we got 100 kids now. So and we're probably going to grow it even more. We just enrolled 4 more kids today.
How do they actually sign up for this? Let's get that out.
We got a Tropical Storm Club Facebook page. That's probably the best way to do it. Just message me or Leanne through that Facebook page, or Hurricane Howard, or H.H. Roger, but preferably through the Tropical Storm Club. We got so many pages going at once. And just say, hey, I've got a son or daughter, 13 years old, interested in being part of the club. And all we do is we email you a release form saying it's okay to use their pictures or their videos on our Tropical Storm page, and we get their size, their age, and all that good stuff. And that's how you do it. Go to the Tropical Storm Club page on Facebook, and we'll get with you after that.
All right, that sounds like just such a cool deal.
Yep, it's awesome.
We're having fun with it. It's pretty neat to see the pictures come in. The kids are excited. They're smiling. That's the key, is smiling. They're under a lot of pressure at school all the time, just completely different what we went through. And I like to see the kids have a good time. That's what it's about.
Absolutely. My hat's off to you for that, buddy.
Thank you.
Hey, and anybody out there that's listening that wants to get in on this is a perfect opportunity to be a part of it. And if you're a jig manufacturer or whatever you do,
Thank you.
Be sure and contact them. Get in on this, because this is
It's huge.
Yeah, and this is something that should have been done by companies long before you came up with it. And I'm really happy that somebody stepped up and is doing this, because
Thank you. Leanne loves it.
There's been a few programs that that take a kid fishing program. Well, then that got canceled because the companies that were behind it at the time were like, why do we want to take kids fishing? They're not buying our product. Take your neighbor fishing. They actually got changed. And
oh wow.
So they got lost.
Unfortunately, yeah.
They got lost.
We got 75 acres we just purchased in Farmerville in Louisiana, and then we're going to put a 5-acre pond lake on there, and eventually we're going to have rodeos in that local area for the kids rodeo. So we'll have our pro staff guys and gals that are helping out, supervising everything, and whoever catches the most fish, I don't care if it's the fish that big or this fish that big, it counts. And then we'll eventually have rodeos there on the property.
Right.
And that's our goal is eventually have some of our pro staff guys and gals, which we've got some awesome ones that love the sport of fishing and kids, that they can do rodeos in their town eventually. So that's something down the road that we're looking forward to be doing for the kids.
Awesome.
That's cool. Next guest here is Michael Nowell. I've known Michael for quite a few years now, and he's the current Magnolia Crappie Club president. And kind of go through some history about Magnolia with us there, Mike.
Well, let's see. The Magnolia Crappie Club, I believe, they originated in '92. I believe that's when they first started up. There was a number of years there. They probably had, I don't know, about 30 members that they ran through. It was just a good little local club, and we've got some sponsors on board, and got a good magazine started, and we've put it out to try to spread the word out of just a community club. But we also wanted to put it out as this is a community level club, but it's put on as a professional tour, just like a professional trail. We try to do that.
Yeah.
And so we keep try to keep the fees lower. You can come fish one of our tournaments. It's $120, and it's not $300 or $500. So it's something that anybody can get into. And one of our big things that me and Paula we try to push is just like Mr. Howard here. We want the kids involved, and we any of our teams, no matter who it is, how many you got, you bring a youth, anyone under 18, they fish for free. As many youth as you want.
So you can have a 3-person team?
Right. You can.
Okay.
Yeah, you can have 2 adults, but then you can have, I don't care if you've got 5 kids in your boat. If you can handle them, you can have them. And they have their own little division. Academy Sports and Outdoors, they are sponsor our youth division. We give out a $100 gift card to the youth each tournament. And then we give any of the youth that come to our awards banquet at the end of the season, we give every youth Academy Sports gift cards and prizes. We want all the youth to have something. And we like that because, dad and moms, there are some moms, but they go fishing for the weekend, they're gone. Well, they don't have to be gone. Bring the kids with you. Bring your wives with you. We have a number of teams that's husband and wives now. Me and Paula, we fish together. There's the Womacs, Sylvesters. There's several. And the women can compete too. But bring those kids. We love to see the kids. And they're the next generation of our sport.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we need to keep our sport going.
I think about Magnolia Crappie Club, and that's kind of where I really kicked off in competitive fishing anyway, was with these guys years ago. But, if you're wanting to learn the sport of crappie fishing, there is no other better way in my mind is from meeting people that are serious about it in a tournament setting, especially a family-friendly setting.
Yes.
And I know that's one of the founding things with Magnolia has always been to me is a family-friendly setting. So, both you guys are definitely stretching and trying to grow this sport like we are. And
that's how we got started. We came to the first Big Mama Open that they had when they first started that was the first tournament we came to, and we fished that. And I was just really getting into crappie fishing good. And that's when I decided we're going to fish as a team so I can learn.
That was at Grenada?
That was at Grenada. That was, thunderstorm rolled through that morning. It was rough. But I knew first year I'm learning. That's all I'm doing.
Right.
And that's what we did. And we actually fished every tournament, actually had enough points to qualify for the championship, and we actually cashed in the championship that year. But we spent that year and learned, and now we've won one or two tournaments. We held the club record for a while for the big tournaments. We caught the first big stringer there at Lake Washington. It's when we had three pounders that one day. That was
I remember the day.
That was unheard of then.
Yeah, I remember it was quite cold as well.
30-mile-an-hour winds and it was snowing.
Yeah, I remember it quite well. Froze to death.
But it was still fun. Big old crappie.
You told me y'all have 10 regular season tournaments?
Yes, we have 10 regular season tournaments.
Name the lakes off real quick. Or I put you on the spot.
No, that's all right. We fish Wolf, Ross Barnett, Eagle, Sardis, Grenada, Okeechobee,
Lake Washington.
and Lake Washington. And we're working on something extra for possibly going to Arca Butler. But that covers all of them. There'll be a couple of them. We'll fish Barnett twice. We fish Grenada twice. Once in the fall, once in the spring, both of those.
So for the viewers who've never fished a crappie tournament before, what would be the best lake for them to come to and get started that's going to take it easy on them?
Take it easy on them. Okeechobee. If you want to catch you a bunch of fish, come to Okeechobee. Now, everybody says there's nothing but little fish in there, which generally you don't catch a lot of monster fish. But last year there was
a bunch of fish.
Yeah, there was past 2 years in the spring, there was a 4-pound crappie caught out of Okeechobee. 4 pounds.
Good.
And I even know, I know of
I would have never guessed that one.
Friend of mine, he has one at the house that he caught from Okeechobee. That was several years ago. But the last 2 years there was a 4-pounder caught out of Okeechobee.
Wow.
Bank fishermen too, both of them. Bank fishermen.
Isn't that awesome?
It's just crazy.
I would have never guessed that one. Any other lakes you mentioned, I would have said, yeah, that's.
Do you remember what you and I talked about a few years ago in one of these about how that almost every lake record and state record's caught from the bank across the board? Because they ain't out there making noise or trolling motors, chasing fish.
Or sonar.
You're right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling when you do the research how many are caught by bank fishermen.
I believe it. I mean, you see these guys fishing on banks every day, and I mean they're not out there just to kill time. They're out there to catch fish. So
Oh yeah.
That's all we ever did.
anyway, you said how would somebody go about joining Magnolia Crappie Club at this point?
You can go to our website, which is magnoliacrappieclub.com. You can click on the membership form. There is a form on there that you can print out and put your information and your partner's information. You can send that in with your membership. It's a $60 membership for the adults. Kids, fish free. But $60 membership per person. And we even have the lakes listed there. You can prepay for any of the tournaments that you want to fish. You can mail that in, or you can contact me or Paula, which is our secretary, and we can send you a PayPal invoice to your email, and you can pay it with your credit card. And you can, like I said, you can check which ones you want to fish, or you can pay. We have some that go ahead and pay for the whole season. They're never going to fish it. And it's done. You're ready.
What's some of the general rules as far as your tournament? Because I know when somebody's looking at fishing tournaments, they need to know some of the basic rules. What are some of the basic rules for?
Basic rules, you can fish up to 8 poles, except for if you're fishing by yourself on one of the big 4 core lakes in Mississippi, where they only allow 4 poles per person. So if you're fishing by yourself at one of those, it's only 4 poles. 2 hook sets per pole. We set the starting time. It's usually around official daylight. We stop at 2 o'clock. Weigh-ins at one of the landings or one of our sponsors. We will announce. We fish. We weigh live fish now. Except we have a new rules we starting this year, which 7 fish. You weigh 7 fish. You are allowed 2 dead fish this year, but with a penalty. It will be a quarter-pound penalty per dead fish.
So you're definitely want to encourage.
Yes.
Live fish rule then.
Yes, and we still, your fish still, even if it's dead, it still needs to be in good condition so that we know that it was caught that day.
Right.
Don't be bringing something out of a cooler somewhere that.
Right.
No, he needs to look good.
Yeah,
Your
I've
big
been there.
fish can't be included in that quarter-pound, can it?
Yes, you can.
Can be? Okay.
You can weigh your.
Because that'll be a question to ask for
Yes,
sure.
yes.
Yeah.
You can weigh your big fish. It can be. We have to check it when you come. We check it. We mark it, and we mark on your weigh card. We have a place to mark if your big fish is dead. We're doing what ACT had been starting to do. We're going to use a zip tie this year for you to have your big fish marked when you bring them to get checked in. So when we get up there to weigh, you're not searching through the bag looking for your big fish.
I was always really good at picking the wrong one.
I've done it.
Didn't realize on that afterwards.
Yeah, it costs you money.
I actually really like that rule that you can weigh a couple of dead fish.
Yeah.
With me, with my background early in my life being a bass fisherman, you couldn't cull a dead fish. If you had a fish die, you had to weigh that one. And so as far as from the conservation standpoint goes, it's actually smarter. Because otherwise, if you have a dead fish, you're going to go catch another one, which me and Brad have talked about. And now he finally got a biologist that agrees with me. I've been saying all your fish die after they're released anyway. So that's just a conscience thing. It's not a conservation thing. So I applaud that, and that's great. Eric, what do you have new this year?
Oh, my.
Okay, what's your top few new things?
We got a little bit of everything going on, always with us. All my pro staff guys and gals are always wanting to design something. So we got Frank Hadashek's signature series rod, the F&M Warm Pig, Frank Hadashek and Mark McClure out of Missouri and Kansas. It's going to be like a Kermit the Frog green. That was his choice, because if you look at everything Frank's got, it's that color. It's a 13.5 footer. It's made out of carbon fiber and also IM8 graphite. It'll weigh approximately 7.6 ounces at a 13.5 foot. It'll be available in a center seat and a rear seat. I was supposed to have 2 cases come in for the show, but no typhoon out in somewhere out there where they fly out there where they're coming from, then delayed all the planes, so I won't get them until next week. But the main shipment will be here about the second week of September. They'll retail for, I think they're $189. Thanks to this gentleman over here, we can start getting more money for the longer, more high quality poles. Thank you for paving the pavement.
They've told me I was crazy for over 20 years now.
Yeah, well,
and now we're all seeing it come to
fruition.
fruition.
I mean, if you look at the industry, people are willing to pay that extra 30 to 40% more for a rod as long as it's a good high quality. And it's a light.
That was the key right there.
What's that? High quality.
High quality.
Well,
right.
that and a good warranty.
Yeah, very good warranty. Yeah. On the War Pigs, we'll have a 2-year warranty on those. We've got a Pro Series 1000 series reel that's out. I've got a case of it here at the show that will be coming out. Cagle and Scott Williams actually approved the reel that we chose, for cast and drag. I mean, he's one of the best cast and drag guys in the industry right now. There's a lot of good ones out there, but Cagle's, that's what he goes after. But anyway, make long story short, those will be coming in September also. I got a 16-foot prototype here at the show that we're going to be probably releasing come springtime of 22. It's a 16-foot scoping rod, same material as what Frank's is, and everything. That'll be 9.8 ounces. So, and also one other thing, Cagle's rod, which will be a casting rod, a 7-footer will be made by Cashin Rods out of the Carolinas. That will be, I'm trying to hopefully get it done by Christmas and everything. That'll be a lifetime warranty on that rod. And I can't tell you the composite that's going to be made of because they don't tell too many people what the composite is made out of. Cashin just keeps that under the hat, which is good. That's what we got. That's a little bit of what we got going on, Matthew Rogers has changed his mind for the 4th time. Instead of going with 11.7, we're going to go with a 13-foot rod for him. So we got that kind of in the works and everything. Overseas, it's going, a different producer than when I'm getting my rods produced by now, because they're used to producing some very high-end fly rods. You know how fly rods get. They can get up there quite expensive, but Matthew's rod looking at springtime on that 13-footer. So that's what we got going on with HH other than the Tropical Storm Club.
Awesome. Thank you guys for your time. I'm going to see if we got any audience members have any kind of questions today. And if you do, please hook us up. All right.
Hey, Can y'all give a quick rundown on pulling crankbaits? I mean, I'm beginning to see a lot of that.
Yeah.
Some of the people I talk to say that's the only way to go, which I'm kind of the traditionalist guy, so just kind of give me an overview.
Got you guys.
Of crankbaits.
Yeah, I can go with this one pretty good. I did it yesterday, so this is how current I still do it. And I'll have a video out that we went through A to Z. So I'm gonna kind of give you a quick rundown on crankbaits. I use deep diving crankbaits, and you're probably gonna be fishing around here. So I'm wanting to target suspended fish or fish on structure. And what I mean by that, so use your fish finder, see where the fish are suspended in the water level, and it say if it's 10 foot. There's an app that you can get on your phone called Precision Trolling app. And you can pick out the crankbait that you're actually using, and it'll tell you the exact amount of line to let out and the particular line to let out to get to that level. Speed-wise, as far as crankbaits, you're looking at 1.5 to about 1.8 is the standard rule. And colors, man, a long time ago, fishing a tournament with Magnolia, I learned they're liable to bite any color out there in the rainbow. We were fishing a tournament at Enid Lake up north Mississippi, bright sunny day, and you think bright colors, natural colors, and the only bait they would bite that day was a completely black. So my advice on colors is throw it all out there. Let the fish tell you. I think a lot of times people get in the mindset that they're going to force fish to bite what we want them to bite. 90% of the time, that's not going to work for you. So keep changing colors up until you can kind of get a good color as far as crankbaits goes, and stay tuned for a really good video where I'm actually on the water and I show you my setup from pulling crankbaits, because it's working right now on the reservoir.
Are you running just crankbaits, or do you run a weight on it to get it to where you want it?
I do not run additional weight.
Okay.
You can do that if you're wanting to get really deep, or you're pushing them. I always pull crankbaits. I like the give of the poles and the line to bring them in. Additional weight, you can get them down deeper. Most of these crankbaits out now, you can get them down all the way to about 15 foot before having to add weight. In the summertime, and me and Todd talked about a little while ago, as far as it's a thermocline setting up in the lake already. It started 2 days ago, and it's at 16 foot, so there would be no need on this lake out here to run anything deeper than that. Ross Barnett, you can just about put money on it. These fish are going to be 11 foot deep. And that's totally my experience there.
The line you use, I know I don't pull cranks. I got, several buddies that do. 10-pound mono is about the go-to line when you're pulling cranks. I know everybody's got their own preference, but that's like the median line that everybody uses.
That's the general rule as far as crankbaits go. It's going to be 10-pound mono. Personally, I use braided line because I fish in the lake that has a lot of cover, so I want something that whenever it bites a stump, because you're going to bite stumps, especially on a lake that has a lot of stumps into it. So I use braided line so I can snatch it out and save my $6. And I talk about that as well on this video, but so stay tuned for that video, if you got some good questions about that. Anybody else?
One thing that I'll add to this, since you're talking about Barnett with all the stumps, and I've used it on Oak TV and different places where I'm mainly fishing a creek channel. You can push crankbaits. Got to have the right pole, a good, fairly aggressive pole to hold up on it. But you can put you 2-3 ounce weight, a couple of feet up above the crankbait, and put it out here, and you can do you a spread just like you're doing regular trolling, and hook it up at 1.5 miles an hour, and you can get right on the contour of that creek when they're setting up right up on that ledge of it, and follow it around, or go right in between these stump fields out here in Barnett. You may only have just a little place, but you can stay out of that big stump field, because when you're pulling, you got to turn and sway, but you can push them. You can get right around the stuff. You can very, very accurately pinpoint what you're fishing for.
Real tight turns.
And it will catch fish. Now, you still going to catch small ones. I've caught fish that little on a crankbait. Yeah. But you really get them big ones too. When they're aggressive, they'll take it.
Any other questions today? Other than that, hey, throw on the comments. You got some questions, and maybe we'll get to ask them the next time. But Todd Huckabee, we're gonna got some good things coming, buddy.
Oh yeah, I'm really, really excited. Like I say, I don't know when this episode's gonna air, probably a week or two or something. But I hope when y'all see this, you are excited as well, because, like I say, we can't let the cat completely out of the bag yet, but everybody in this industry should be excited for what we're going to do, because now not only are we going to give everybody this platform, but everybody out there is getting ready to have a much larger platform to be able to show off, And even though me and Eric are competitors with business and everything else, that's going to be the cool thing about it, is that now we're going to have to, everybody that comes in here is going to have to get along.
Yep.
Because we may be purposely finding two guys to get out on the water with that have issues. Say, all right, let's go fishing with y'all.
Yeah.
Let's make everybody get along. And so I think it's going to be pretty cool.
Well, competition's good. Look at Home Depot and Lowe's. They're right across from each other. Look at McAdee's and BK. They're right across from each other. So, competition makes better, products. You're either going to have better products or you're going to get behind.
Yeah, I told Brad this years ago, and I've had a lot of compliments on this whenever I was asked about it at Grizzly. It's like, they're like, well, what do you think about this new company that's coming in? What do you think about this? Well, they're taking a piece of the pie. They're taking a piece of the pie, and I'm like, okay, let's make the pie bigger. I mean, it's that simple, and you don't have to grow it much to have a much greater return. I mean, so everybody that's out there, as long as everybody just stays positive about everything, then it's going to be great. It's going to be cool. And like I say,
subscribe, guys.
We're going to be able to show y'all some stuff, and we're going to show you some California crappie and some stuff that
I can't wait to see that.
that it will open some people's eyes that are stuck in that Grenada, Mississippi is the best lake in the nation, because it's great. It's a lot better than the lake I fish every day, but it's far from the greatest, because there's guys that pull way bigger fish out of the ice in Minnesota than what they catch down here, and there's guys in California that catch way bigger crappie than what they catch here, and so it's going to be pretty cool. We're going to see some interesting countryside.
No doubt. Till next time, holla.
About a mile from Big Muddy River, a place I'll always remember. Cabin on the lake and a fishing pole. Forever here I'll rest my soul. I can